Yeah, Lohaus is a fifth-year senior now, and Wyatt's been great for our program. He's played in the NCAA tournament a couple times. Hasn't been healthy the last 2 years. Got healthy as the year went on, but didn't start the year healthy either. The last two times that he's played is really healthy right now, and so somebody that's he's been around it. So from a leadership standpoint, you got a guy who's kind of been there and done that. Taiwan Pickford had a really good freshman year. Austin Fife had a good 4 or 5 weeks to finish out the year. You mentioned Isaiah. Spencer Haldeman has played well for us. We've got 6 or so guys that have played in some way, shape, or form for us, and been starters or played in big games. At least played some minutes in them. I think the thing about this team will be the mix that we've got of the guys that are back that have played, guys that are back that haven't played, with the graduation of Cook, Carlson, and Friedman up front, a guy like Luke McDonald and Justin Dahl, some guys that are redshirt juniors that have not played. So we got a couple of those guys. And then some of the new guys, A.J. Green, Biggie Goldman, Trey Burrow, we just got his waiver, so he's eligible right away. There's a good mix of those things. Yeah, I mean he's as good an incoming freshman as we've had, and he's going to be one of the better incoming freshmen that our league has had. We saw it last year with Krutwig, and we've had other guys. Of course, there's been some really good freshmen come into this league. AJ's one of those kind of guys. He's worked tremendously hard at it for a long, long time already. Extremely disciplined, and so yeah, he's going to be heavily in the mix. In terms of expectations, look, he and I talked about it early in the summer. Yeah, we're not going to back off those. He doesn't want to. He works too hard, and so he doesn't want me to back off those expectations for him. He's not going to back off when asked about it. And as he and I talked about, I've talked about it with some different people. He's going to make some mistakes, right? I mean, he's an 18-year-old, and we're going to play some teams nationally in November and December, and we play in a tremendous league, and he's coming into a league with all kinds of experienced guys. So he's not going to look perfect every night, but I'm telling you, he doesn't want to back off the expectations that he is a good player, and he can be a good player right now, and because he's a competitive kid, and he'll be ready to line up with whoever it is, and he's going to have his challenges. There's some good point guards in our league, and he's going to have his challenges, but we're not going to back off the expectations. Yeah, we've always done things, and Scott, I think it's kind of based on our roster and what that roster looks like. When Seth was a senior 4 years ago, he was going to get the ball. If we didn't score in transition, he was going to get the ball. 3 years ago, when Wes was a senior, if we didn't score in transition, Wes was going to be in a ball screen. And so the last 2 years, Bennett Cook's been a big part of it. He and Clint were, either top 2 or 2 of our top 3 offensive guys. So the game got slowed down a little bit. We were going to throw it inside to Bennett. We were going to play through him. And Fife is not that same kind of player. Fife's role is going to expand tremendously, but he's not that same kind of player as Bennett, where you throw it to him on the block and he's going to score or get doubled. He's much more run the floor, get out and set a ball screen, roll to the basket, offensive rebound, be really active. He's a different player at that spot. And then the guys around him now, it's just a different group of guys around him. It's more of perimeter type guys, even though Goldman is 6'9". The rest of the guys, Ty is 6'4", Trey's 6'5", Isaiah 6'7", but those guys are perimeter guys. So yeah, it'll look different than what it has the last 2 years. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is that it's a different team again. Right? You now that list just keeps getting longer and longer from teams in our league that have done played multiple games in the NCAA tournament. I think I know that coaches, people nationally, they've got a lot of respect for our league. They've got a ton of respect for the players in our league. They've got a ton of respect for the coaches in our league, for how hard our league is. All of those things you get a pretty good feel for when you get out and see guys on the recruiting trail. I mean, and get to know guys, right? I mean, I don't think that's ever been that there's been a knock on our league, that we have teams that are good enough to do it. But what I've enjoyed the most, obviously when we're the ones doing it in a given year, is what we've enjoyed the most. But it doesn't have to be just Northern Iowa or just Loyola. Illinois State's been really good the last couple of years and haven't quite got to the NCAA tournament. Barry's teams are really good. Bradley's going to be really good. Obviously, Wichita and Creighton were teams that were doing it for a long time. It can be done by a number of teams in our league. Valpo's been to the NCAA tournament a number of times. So that's the part of our league I think I enjoy the most, is how how competitive it is, how hard it is. And you get through our league, you're going to be ready to play in the NCAA tournament. It's just our league is set up that way.